I think about this scene a lot. Good morning, me. Did you sleep well? Did you wake up feeling good? Did the light and the wind and the smell and the sounds all seem like they're brand new and fresh this morning? Is each and every cell in your whole body awake and alive now? Today, you are who you are today. You're still me, but you're a newer version. Myself 10 years from now, that's so far away it's almost impossible to imagine. Am I alone, or is there a wonderful person sitting next to me? Well, knowing me, you're probably causing trouble for lots of different people. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but it's alright. That's part of life too, isn't it? You're not perfect, but you got a lot to give, so remember, I'll always be cheering you on. In your time, I'm no longer here, but I am here today, and I'll always be cheering for you, right here, cheering for you, my only self.
In your time, I'm no longer here, but I am here today, and I'll always be cheering for you, right here, cheering for you, my only self.
It's one of the few scenes, irregardless of medium, that I feel is absolutely perfect in every way. Like it's beautiful in its brevity. It's not that long of a scene, but it says so much in so little time. And not just in the context of who Faye Valentine is or who Faye Valentine was, but ultimately the disconnect between the two. I mean, it's such a lofty idea with this notion that you, who you are now, and the you who you were 10 years ago are simultaneously the same person, but also completely different people. And for some, Faye Valentine included, you yearn for this romanticized version of the person that you were, a person who was not so shackled by the jadedness and confusion of adulthood, especially early 20s, early to mid 20s adulthood, where you kind of just cast out into the great beyond with all of these thoughts of what to do with your life. And for Faye's unique experience, all remnants of the life she had is gone, and she has no knowledge of any of it. So she desperately clings on to whatever piece of that life that she can find. Because to her, the life that was taken away from her was the life that she was destined to have. It was her life. But Cowboy Bebop says, well, if that was true, then you would have it. And if Faye were to ever successfully reclaim a significant piece of the jigsaw puzzle that makes up who she was, then maybe she could put together the puzzle of who she is now. Well, one day, a mysterious Betamax tape is dropped off to the crew of the Bebop, and it turns out it was just the puzzle piece that she was looking for, a time capsule Faye recorded for her older self 10 years from now. It's all she could ever ask for, just something, anything that answers the question, just who is Faye Valentine? And this is where I think the true beauty in all of this resides. She watches the tape and it's just her, as a kid, cheering on the adult version of herself. And that's it. No questions answered. Who she is, where she's from, nothing. No life-changing news or grand revelations, because, well, that little girl full of hopes and dreams and aspirations is not here. That young girl isn't the jaded, depressed, and ultimately lost version of Faye Valentine that we have today. And I love how the episode does different things to tie into this ending scene and what it all really means. There's a reason why the very first scene of this episode shows Faye gambling on the horses. So you can later juxtapose the jaded adult she is now with the beacon of innocence she once was. The same person, but also two different people. Man, even looking at the way the tape was delivered, it says so much. It was just dropped on your doorstep. There was no grandiose presentation. There was no grand unveiling of the tape being delivered. It was just dropped off like it was nothing. Because, dear viewer, ultimately, it was nothing. In the grand scheme of cowboy bebop, in the world that they inhabit, nothing has changed. But I think that's only half of the beauty in all of this. Seeking profound answers from mundane things. You probably wouldn't like what you hear because you would expect more. Faye didn't like what she heard. She didn't really like what she saw. But honestly, if you want to talk about profoundness in this search for meaning and identity, then I think young Faye said it best herself. In your time, I'm no longer here, but I am here today, and I'll always be cheering for you right here. Cheering for you, my only self. I think there's really a lesson to be learned from that, because there's a lot of power in having someone believe in you, the person that you are, and the person that you will become. And maybe the first person that needs to believe in you is you. And as an adult pushing the hell out of 30, that holds a lot of emotional resonance with me. Maybe you just believe in the you that believes in you. I just think that everything she says in this one scene, even with its childlike innocence, holds so much weight. And I think that's the reason why the episode is called Speak Like a Child. Because there's a lesson out there that we can learn as adults about the hope and optimism that children have, i.e., dare speak. The line, "You are who you are today, but you're still me." It gives me chills just thinking about it. Because for all of the days that you're sad, for all of the days that you're angry, for all of the days that you're scared, for all of the days that you're happy, they all make up the emotions and the feelings that you want and some that you don't. But at the end of the day, they all make up the puzzle that is you. And I think that's the most profound thing that I've ever heard an anime say. Faye tries to use her forgotten past and supposedly happier times to put together the puzzle of who she was. But maybe who she is now is more than enough. So, it's like this, right? Have you ever played Undertale? 2015 indie darling created by Toby Fox. There's a scene further into the game where you walk in front of a mirror and it gives you the line that I think encapsulates all of this into a neat little bow. And some of you, if you've been following the threads of the video, already know what I'm about to say. Despite everything, it's still you. Does that not shiver your timbers a little? Despite everything, it's still you. Your only self, the only you there is. But never forget.
In your time, I'm no longer here, but I am here today, and I'll always be cheering for you, right here. Cheering for you, my only self.